Hello, my treasures. It's time to get a bit wild with Ryecleaver Breakfast Hunter. Basically, the idea behind this is Ryecleaver now has the sandwich that costs 3 mana in combination with Mysterious Egg to give us a bunch of additional copies of either Whole Hound or King Plush, making it where we can overwhelm our opponent with a 3 mana spell that we can duplicate off of Tidepool Pupil. It is also worth mentioning before we get into the Mulligan guide, you will be seeing a clear progression from the original version of the list to the final version of the list in these 3 games that I will be showcasing in this video. Now, for the Mulligan guide of the deck, Ryecleaver is the most important card. However, there are others that allow you to easily draw into it, such as Bargain Bin or Costume Singer. If you see either of those cards, then don't keep the Ryecleaver in your starting hand. Then you're going to be looking for early game minions or early game removal tools, such as Mixologists, as ways to act as AoE board clears. Now, with that being said, let's look at some games. Okay, time for a game against DK. Let's see what they have in store for us. Oh, this hand does not look that great. I will say this, Wilderness Pack is probably one of the worst cards in the list. However, I really just wanted to use the card, which is why it's in the list. Hopefully we can get a pretty good replay with it pretty quickly. If we can't, then it is what it is. Also, Instrument Tech is something that we might want to cut out for like a Bargain Bin instead, just because Bargain Bin draws you 2 cards instead of 1 and isn't completely dead whenever you do draw into your weapon early on. And All You Can Eat is also a card that we may or may not keep in the final variant of the list. We shall see. I'm running into the issue that the deck has a lot of draw power and not a lot of anything else, which is probably going to end up getting this deck changed by quite a bit towards the end of testing. Okay, there's Chill Fallen Baron. Also, Buzzard might be a card that we just hit from the list to help with the consistency of Egg. There's a few different paths that you could take with this deck. You could go down the Buzzard route where you're using it to draw into your like big beasts like this, or you could probably go down the Mysterious Egg route, which I think I'm leaning towards just because it's a lot more thematic with Ryecleaver, because I know the deck list that goes with the Mysterious Eggs is called Breakfast Hunter, and I think that's a little bit more on the nose if you add Ryecleaver to that list. I don't know. Let me know down below what you have a feeling of, like which list it should have been, focused more on. We're at 5 mana. We don't really have an easy way to get the Whole Hound. Oh, of course we draw into the other one right now. All right, we can. Oh, that works. Actually, no, we're going to have to use this. Oh, I really wish we had waited to use that after we got the sandwich in hand. Because if we did, then Tidepool would have actually been able to duplicate it. But it is what it is, right? Okay. Depending on what our top deck actually is. Oh, wait. Actually, no. We don't even need a good top deck. We just use All You Can Eat and then... Oh. The game just really wants to hand us this. All right, heal up a little bit, and then we have a pretty good board for next turn. Then we have 2 additional copies, which is honestly, Tidepool at 1 mana probably would have been really good in this deck, but like 2 mana, it feels a lot of the time like a win more, or just like a dead card. Though in theory, you could use it with Strangleheart or Stranglethorn Heart, which works technically in this list. Yogg is also a card that I'm considering with the final version of the list, but you never know. Maybe we don't do it. Yogg's a card I just end up adding into every list. You know, the Frank's Red Hot Sauce. I add that shit to everything. Yogg is that with me in Hearthstone right now. There's a lot of the times where it just becomes something that you just instantly add to whatever deck that you're playing. Oh, no. Well. I mean, that could have went a lot worse, I guess. But we do have another copy, so That should be fine, right? I think we might as well do the third copy because it's funny, right? That worked way better than it should have, right? Okay, I don't think that clears. Come on, overextend, please. Okay, there's natural talent. Get down with the ship. Mining casualties. Hey, that's not a card that I would ever. Oh, in this matchup in particular, yeah. There's always a bigger mistake, and that definitely was one. GG. Okay, time for a game against Warrior. Highlander Warrior is probably what it's going to be. Though Mech Warrior is also a deck that could possibly be decent. Mech Warrior is something that I considered, but we're going to try to, like, I don't know. I think I've already done 2 Warrior decks for Perils in Paradise. Maybe just one, actually. Maybe that is a deck or class that we should, like, revisit. Oh, I have only done 1. I don't know. Mech Warrior, let me know down below if Mech Warrior is something that you would enjoy seeing on the channel. We just did 2 mech lists, so I kind of want to get a little bit more variety, right? I guess we didn't technically do the 2 mech lists back to back, but like, close enough together where it matters a bit. All right, so they do have some of the tourist cards. We're gonna grab armor, and I guess we're gonna grab AoE. I don't know for sure what type of warrior this is yet. AoE is just nice in most matchups. I will say this Mixologist has become one of my favorite cards from Perils, just because of the fact that you can do so much with the card, and it does give classes that don't normally have AoE access to AoE, which is great. Yeah, we're gonna go for Freezing Trap. Actually, thinking about that, that probably was a mistake out of those 3. Bargain Bin would have been better just because it would have gave us access to the weapon, and then we could have just slammed it down. This hand does not look that great either, by the way, because we do have about Followed Hounds. Though this does mean Mystery Egg is always going to give us Crush, for better or worse. Alright, let's Hero Power, pass it back to them. Might as well try to clear out both of the minions, heal up a little bit maybe, and I don't want to give them access to Zilliax. I'm assuming if they're running that card, they're probably Highlander, which could be a problem. Okay. So we do have access to doing a bunch of damage in hand. Okay, Miracle Salesman. Get rid of both the minions. Go face, Hero Power, pass it. Oh, I did have to get that. Any other card would have been good. Maybe not the Hollow Hound, but like, boy, oh boy, I wanted the Yogg. I know they have Zilliax in hand. You know, I included Yogg in the list because on Killiax, but more I'm thinking about it, maybe we just don't, right? Okay, well, we can use Hover, get rid of the minion, go face. Slam down a taunt to protect our face. Oh, Zilliax. Oh, wait. The Zilliax is going to cost 11. Oh, wait. Oh, no. They have access to ramp cards pass. That's kind of a shame. I think Gilly is actually the safe bet here. And the next turn we can use Gilly in combination with Yelling Yodeler to buff up everything. They already used the Dirty Rats, so we're not worried about that. As long as they put down some minions, we should be able to win really, really quickly. But that does require us, or them, to slam down a bunch of minions, which may or may not actually happen. Oh no. What minions did they just hit? It doesn't matter. We're just going to do this. Get rid of all that, and then we should be fine. It's a 710. 710 plus the Parasite, and the Parasite should be, boy, math in my head. Ooh. Why did they have to get rid of the Gilly? That's the correct play. Don't get me wrong, that is definitely the correct play. But it definitely is not the play that I wanted to see them do. Oh, that feels bad, man. Okay, bargain bin into Crossilisk. You know, the thumbnail, I have a good idea of what I want to do with it. But there's also other things that I could probably do. Like, Gilly is something that, knowing how I usually do my thumbnails, which is one full art and 2 cards and then whatever text I want. I really want to use Gilly's full or art for the signature on the thumbnail. But I think if I use Ryecleaver's art as it will get clicked more, and then maybe we'll put like Ryecleaver, I don't know. We'll see. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with the thumbnail in particular. Thumbnails are usually the last thing that I design when it comes to making videos, because sometimes I'm like, we might not want to do what I had originally planned for the thumbnail. As long as one of the main cards is featured in the thumbnail, it usually is fine. Honestly, actually, this is a little hint. Decks that I have a legendary in the thumbnail usually do better than the ones that I don't have a legendary, which is why you'll maybe sometimes see, because of like how I can do the YouTube algorithm, I'll change what the full art is, or like the card in the thumbnail, because I can actually have 3 separate thumbnails. Just a little background information of like how the YouTube algorithm or YouTube upload works now. It's also like Bayfin Rogue is a great example. Like, I think the original thumbnail, I had Bayfin, Dirty Rat, and Bayfin in the thumbnail. And then I was like, why do that when we could just do Bounce Around Corona instead and get anything good? Armor is nice. Armor is nice. I won't not accept armor. Yeah, we can freeze out the minion. Go face, which looks a little bit bad, but or we could actually just pass the turn. I kind of just want to pass it. Nah, we're gonna do this. Decisions. Passing the turn is probably the best, but okay, yeah, let's just do that. I've committed to the bit, I guess. Monstrosity. Oh, are we fine? Are we actually technically in like a mirror match? I know it isn't actually a mirror match, but this is pretty close to one, right? Wait, math. 9 attack. Plus another 9 attack. And we might as well get this up to 20. And this should be GG. Boy, that is one big hound. We are hounding our opponent out of this game. Oh. Alright, time for a game against Rogue. You know, with the balancing changes, I almost decided to do Rogue again. But given the fact that I hadn't done a Hunter deck, I really was trying to focus on doing Hunter this time. I know Rogue is something that I will consider again. Eudora is a card that I just want to play around with. Like Eudora, I have a golden Eudora, and I really want to make use of her if humanly possible. I know maybe it won't be possible. I still haven't done anything with her. Usually, this is just a hint on like how I do deck building. If I have a golden or a signature card of a card, I am most likely to do it. I say this, and I still haven't yet to cover Nemsy on the channel. I just don't, like, everything I've tried with Nemsy just doesn't feel unique enough to showcase it on the channel, or good enough, right? Eventually, that card should be good enough to showcase on a channel, but until later on, and we probably will ignore it for now. Okay. Alright, so we have Ryecleaver, which is great. We can't play it for another turn. We gotta be a little bit careful with the Tide Pool. I know we probably won't be able to use it in combination with Ryecleaver, but you never know. You could always hope to be able to use it. I'm just gonna grab... I think this is the best choice. Oh, hey! Tide Pool number 2. Never mind. Okay, there's Creation. But yeah, like something with Eudora Maestro would be really fun as the main win condition instead of what I've done in the past. I haven't done anything with Eudora at all, so Eudora would probably take priority over Maestro. I would say, at least on the channel. Like, I try to prioritize decks that I haven't covered on the channel yet over ones that I have. I really, really want to do something with CCG, which expect that either Sunday or Monday, depending on how I'm actually feeling and how well it goes. CCG is a card that I've been wanting to do for a long time on the channel. And sadly, the buffs to it kind of hurts the deck that I had planned out for the deck. But, you know, maybe it helps because consistency-wise, we should be able to draw into her more quickly and maybe get additional copies. Maybe. Hopefully. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. So expect that deck next. I know Tendril Shaman is something that I've had on the back burner for like a week. Just because of when they announced the balancing changes. We're just going to try to feed into the success of balancing changes, or like the amount of balancing changes that we have right now. Just because I think if I focus on those cards, people are more likely to watch them, you know? But you never know. Also, I really just want to do a CCG deck before like other people discover one, right? I want to be the first one that gets to it. Oh no, we misplayed there a little bit. We should have reversed that order. And then we would have got it 2 additional copies. Oh, how am I this bad at doing? The life's still on the weapon. Also, that is a deck that I'm kind of interested in trying to make work. But yeah, like Eudora is one of those things that I don't think I think the 1 mana difference will make it better, or her better. I just don't think that's enough for the card, to be fair. But there should be some like fun, goofy deck that you can come up with decent enough. Let's just buff up everything. Yeah, I was like, we screwed that up so bad. We really should have done that in the reverse order, but it is what it is. Sometimes you make little mistakes like that, and we probably should have also just got rid of all 3 of the minions now that I'm thinking about it, because whatever. We're fine. Hopefully the 2 mana or 2 damage doesn't matter. Oh, Burning Sonia. You know, Sonia's actually, now that Tide Pool is at 2 mana instead of 1, I will say this. The fact that they buffed up or nerfed Tide Pool to 2 mana instead of 1 mana makes me so happy. There's so many decks that I've been like, hey, we could probably do something with Tide Pool and this deck. And I haven't got to it yet. Like, Triple Room Blood DK is something I really want to cover at some point. I think the next DK list is probably going to be a Plague DK list, similar to the Amalgam list that I've already put out for DK, except we're trying to copy like Helia and the 2 cost. I can't remember what it does. It's the one that shuffles 2 plagues to your opponent's deck. I think that's going to be probably the next DK list on the channel. I don't think that's going to happen for a few weeks, just because we've done so many DKs. Currently speaking, the order of decks... Sorry about that, the game crashed. The order of decks that I have planned is going to be, well, this, which is Ryecleaver Hunter, followed by CCG Demon Hunter, Tendril, Shaman, and then probably Lena Druid. And then we'll probably do Sandcastle Paladin. I have like, it actually, I will say this. I don't like to get super far ahead when it comes to scheduling like videos and such. But I do have an idea of what decks I'm going to be covering. We're going to keep trying up with doing 3 uploads a week. Also, I will say this. This rogue is making a huge mistake by just spamming out minions. Also, kind of another deck that I've thought about doing is like Ouroboros rogue, using all the direct damaging cards for like tempo. Because basically that deck is a tempo rogue deck, and then using maybe Amalgam to get like more online. I don't know. It's something that I've thought about, but much like DK, rogue is a class that I just... We're gonna not upload anything with it for a little bit. Maybe not. I don't know. I kind of do want to do Eudora. I'm not gonna lie. And this is GG. Alright, now that we're through the games, let's discuss my final thoughts of the deck. So, I played 30 games with the deck with a 50% win rate, which was actually a little bit higher than I originally expected. The one thing that I kept running into as a problem, which is more of a personal problem than anything, is the fact that Ryecleaver is an incredibly difficult card to actually use, because this deck has a tendency to have a very full hand, making it very hard to not misplay with this card. But if you are capable of not misplaying with it as much as I did, then this deck actually might be a higher success rate than I ended up having. Overall though, if you're looking for a deck to use this card, it is probably one of the better hunter decks that you can try out. In the nearby future, I may try to do something with it and warrior, but until then, this is a pretty fun deck, and you might as well try it out since it does seem like it can win quite a bit. Now with all being said, if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, bye bye.